So, Silent Salt Cookie actually might have done it. And for those of you guys wondering what I'm talking about, I am talking about the removal of one particular cookie that has been causing a rampage inside of the arena. So I've been dabbling around with some extra teams after I shared a comp with you guys yesterday, utilizing the Silent Salt, Eternal Sugar, and Shadow Milk that was pretty much shared and built on day one of the release of Silent Salt. However, I was testing and I've been talking to different people as well, and it seems like there might be a possibility where Shadow Milk finally might be out of the arena for one comp. Obviously, for the last 7-8 months or so since his release, he has been a staple and one of the founding, core of all of the arena comps. However, for this one, now we are utilizing double healer, double DPS, and a single tank here, utilizing pure vanilla instead of Shadow Milk Cookie. So let's talk about it. First of all, you guys can see right over here that we are going to be utilizing the rally buff from pure vanilla cookie instead of the hollyberry, because now we are able to get some extra HP and some damage resist with his rally effect. And something that you guys can see a little bit different here too is that instead of the necklace, we are now utilizing that paper charm. And the main reason why is because of the fact that there are so many of these necklaces that if you guys actually utilize the paper charm, then you are able to remove those buffs as well as those shields from the enemy cookies if they have it. So it allows your Eternal Sugar as well as Silent Salt to do a lot of damage up front in the beginning, as well as through the rotations that you guys do have with their skill. We still have the monocle in order to give those extra buffs to the cookies with the extra defense, extra debuff resist, as well as the healing and the cleansing that is possible with it. But the topping is a little bit different this time around, because now instead of focusing on Silent Salt receiving a DOIL buff, now it is going to be Eternal Sugar actually taking it. So for those of you guys who are trying to build a team that doesn't have Shadow Milk, this might be the one. So let's go over the toppings. So right now we have 3 Swift Chocolate and 3 Healthy Peanut. And the reason why is because we do want to have a lower attack than Eternal Sugar, as well as have higher HP than Eternal Sugar as well. Because of the fact that both Beast Cookies are receiving 35% extra max HP, as long as this number right over here is higher than Eternal Sugar's, then you'll be perfectly fine. We're focusing around 20% cooldown for this one, just so that you guys do have that 1-second rotation as well as a little bit faster cooldown, and around 2 to 3% attack speed is perfectly fine. Focusing on the rest on damage resist and of course damage resist bypass. Again, Silent Salt is going to receive DOIL's buff after Eternal Sugar dies. However, because we have pure vanilla, Eternal Sugar will revive one more time and most likely we'll be able to use the skill. Next one is going to be our Hollyberry. Hollyberry is a little bit different than the last one, is because of the fact that we actually removed a bunch of cooldown and just went with more HP and damage resist and a little bit of attack speed here too. But that is going to be the main focus. So it should be a little bit easier to build than the other team, because we're, sacrificing a little bit more on that cooldown for some extra damage resist and HP, and the biscuit is going to be the same as before. So the next one here with Eternal Sugar is a little bit, interesting. It is kind of similar to what we had with Wind Archer, except for the fact that we are getting the DOIL buff onto our Eternal Sugar and still allowing Eternal Sugar to do a lot of damage. So you guys can see right here, we are going with 2 amp buff, 2 of the raspberry, and 2 Swift Chocolate, around 15% cooldown, of course damage resist, as well as getting a good amount of amp buff, because once you do get the amp buff, you are receiving more healing, your buffs are longer and things like that. And because of the fact that DOIL's buff is starting with Eternal Sugar, it actually does help out. And of course, because of the fact that the lowest HP is Eternal Sugar also is going to be taking mainly the shackle from the enemy Shadow Milk. So the damage resist bypass is still there, but that is going to be a interesting little combination that I've tried out, and it seems to work out. I've tried out more raspberry than Swift Chocolate. I tried out peanut in here as well. I've tried out more amp buff, but this was the one that kind of brought the best result. Next one is going to be DOIL. DOIL is the same as before, with the main HP, as well as cooldown around 15%, and then damage resist with the biscuit, as well as pure vanilla is going with 5 peanut, and I have one of the swift chocolate tart in order to get 15% cooldown, and then my biscuit is going to be damage resist, cooldown, damage resist to increase more of that damage resist for pure vanilla. Again, this one is pretty much going into all of the team, and just realize, you know, there are times when you do win, there are times when you do lose, and the main thing is because of Silent Salt Cookie's skill. So sometimes your Silent Salt is going to use skill a little bit faster because of the fact that, you know, it's going to insta trigger that Wrath of Catacombs and stuff like that, and the cooldown reduction when an ally HP drops to 70%. So sometimes your Silent Salt might use skill a little bit earlier than that 30-second, 1 minute mark. Sometimes your enemy is going to use it right at that 1 minute 30-second mark. So it just kind of depends on RNG as well, but it seems to be working out pretty well from what you are seeing on the screen right now. So let's get into some battle real quick, real time, and show you guys this team in action. All right, guys, so we do have this right over here. They do have a 3-star Ascension Doyle and max promo. Let's see how this goes. All right, so we're going to have that Silent Salt use skill because of that 1 second. And because we do have the Paper Charm, it's going to remove the buffs initially. Of course, once they do have the buffs come out again, it is going to come up. But you can see right there, Eternal Sugar is taking that Shackle and the Puppet. However, because we have the Doyle buff, you know, she is going to survive. She's going to get that healing and stuff like that. So around that, you know, 40-second mark, she actually did die, but boom, she comes back, deals extra damage. She dies once more, but not a problem because, you know, Silent Salt is still there to do that damage. And there you guys go. Only Eternal Sugar died, and everybody else was able to do damage and survive. So it does seem like it is a good comp. That was a Grandmaster one as well, with max promo on Eternal Sugar and max promo on Shadow Milk. So for those of you guys who have maybe a lower Silent Salt, all right, promotion on Silent Salt, and you're not able to get that higher attack from the previous team that I shared, then you guys can use this team because now you're just focusing on Eternal Sugar with the highest attack. And also, you don't need Shadow Milk. So if your Shadow Milk is doing a little bit less damage, or you just don't have Shadow Milk at all, then go for this team. Try it out. Paper Charm, it's a rare one as well, so it's very easy to, you know, utilize because most likely if you guys are rolling for the treasures, then you should have this Paper Charm maxed out without any problem. All right, guys, let's do it one more time here. The only thing that I sometimes have problems with is when the Doyle is just super high in promotion and ascension, but you know, last time was 3-star ascension, so let's try it again. I guess one thing that I do have to also mention is that my pure vanilla is going to be a little bit higher in the stats because of the 5-star ascension as well as 5-star awakening, or max awakening actually in this case. So there is that thing, so just keep that in mind. I would recommend you guys though to try and get that high of a, you know, HP as well as damage resist as much as possible, so that you are able to keep the pure vanilla alive as long as possible, providing that heal and the shield and everything like that. But bam, right there, that was a really close one. Our pure vanilla and Silent Salt only surviving, but that was also a max with 3-star promo on the Silent Salt. But we were able to really, that Paper Charm coming into play against that Royal Necklace, and then we're able to deal damage with the, you know, Eternal Sugar because of the buff that you are getting for Doyle. And if Doyle does die, Silent Salt is doing more damage too, so there is that benefit. So there you guys go. There is one team now that is going to be Shadow Milk less. All right, we're gonna have a team without Shadow Milk after around like 8 months of him causing a havoc inside of the arena. Finally, there is something that we are able to use. So if you guys want to try this team out, then go ahead, guys. Again, the main focus is Eternal Sugar taking all of the damage, but still surviving with the heal from Doyle, and pure vanilla with Doyle's buff as well. And then Silent Salt is there to just constantly deal damage whenever he can. And Holiberry, of course, tanking for the team. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.